Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to use and set up codes for GameShark SP. This particular device is used for Nintendo Game Boy Advance SP. This device also has 12 digits of code per line. Most older GameSharks and an Action Replay uses 8 digits of codes per line, and because of that, they don't have the same codes at all. There's also 2 different versions of this. I think this is version 2, but I could be wrong. There's also a white one, I know that for a fact. And both that one and this one use 12 digits per line. And I think there's only 2 GameSharks that use 12 digits, so because of that, it's harder to find codes for this particular device. I also think it's the last model made for the GameShark. And with that note, I'll also mention that I'm not going to spend time listing and showing all the codes I have on my GameShark. The reason for that is because I have a lot of codes on here, and most of the codes I have are either found or posted on the GameShark group on Reddit, which I will talk more about later in the video towards the end. So to start off, I'll show you what it looks like and the buttons on this. This is the front, this is the back. It's got little prongs here, so when you insert it into the Game Boy Advance SP, you'll have to push both of these at the same time to pull it back out. And this is an on and off button. You can use it to switch codes on and off during the middle of gameplay. It shouldn't hurt anything at all. And if you want to use it on a Game Boy, let me plug it in here. Make sure it's on. You have to have a game inserted, otherwise you won't be able to access the GameShark at all. So I'll be using this game today. Sure y'all can see that. I'm going to start off talking about the buttons, and then I'll show you how to set up a code. Alrighty, here I can see that. Alright, so let's start off towards the top. Alright. So you have the A button here. Let's just select stuff. These are individual games, not codes. So if you click the right arrow, a bunch of codes will pop up. These are all codes to that specific game. If you click right again, a code pops up. That's the code. This is a master code. That's what the M stands for. Each game has its own master code. If I click B, I can edit the title of this game. Click L and R to move left and right. B is to delete stuff. And then I could type stuff in. And obviously if I screw up, it says here, select as oops. I go back. I can also edit titles of codes. Same thing, left, right, go back. I can also edit individual lines of code. See here? Then I could type in whatever I want in it. I didn't know this when I first bought it, so if I screwed up, I just ended up deleting this entire code. I didn't know I could edit code or titles of anything. I just deleted it. If you want to delete something, you click select. It would ask if you delete it. I don't want to, so go back. Deleting an entire game. Deleting an entire game would delete everything in it, including all the codes. If I want to delete just this, it would only delete the code. That's it. Or I could delete individual lines of code. I could just delete this, and the title would still be there for this cheat. But I don't want to do any of that right now. R is a scroll fast down. L is a scroll fast up. I think that's really about it for buttons though. Yeah, that's really about it for buttons. Next is adding codes. So if you want to add a new game, so let's say you want to add a cheat for Pokemon Ruby, but you don't have any codes whatsoever to the game. Just go to the top, click B, and then insert the title of your game. So in your case, it'd be Pokemon Ruby. But in my case, I'm just going to put something random. So ABC. And then this is where you type in the master code. Master code depends on what kind of code you're using. Like wild Pokemon modifier codes, shiny codes, item codes. It depends. They all have their own master code. Teleport codes, it depends on the game, the version, if it's foreign or not. Again, I'm just going to put something totally random. And just click start, hit added code. That's it. So the GameShark also automatically puts in alphabetical order, so you don't have to worry about that. So in this case, it's at the very top. And I have my master code. If I click the right arrow, I can see it all. So I technically don't have any cheats for this whatsoever. I got nothing. This is all I got. My game and the master code to it. And now I want to add a new code. So I'm going to click B again. Add new code. Oh, oops. My bad. Add new cheat. Adding new code will just add more to this line of code I have. So I want to add new cheat. And I'm going to call this FGH. That's the name of my cheat. So something random. So let's say I have my master code that I'm adding a shiny cheat. Pretend that's what this is. Now I have my cheat. If I select my cheat, under normal circumstances this would glow, but this is totally made up, so it's not. Let me just show you a random game. So I have this game. So if I click this, the master code glows too. Because this won't work unless this is activated. You also cannot activate more than one master code at a time. So click that. That master code is glowing. Yep. Here we go. This one's not. You can only do one code at a time. Let's go back up. Alright. Now I'm going to show you how to add notes. Notes are basically small notes to yourself on how to use certain cheats. Like if you're using a walk-through wall cheat or a teleport code, you might have to click certain button combinations. I'll show you an example of a note. You're typically at the very past it. You're typically at the very bottom. So you can see here, it's a slightly different color. And if I click right, there's no code. Notes don't have any codes. They're basically titles without codes. See, that one has code. If I click right, these don't have anything. And they're like purple. Or pink. Close that. So I'll show you how to make a note. It's really easy. I literally just discovered this like last week. So I click add new cheat. And you can also change the color of it, which is what I'll show you. Click the infinity symbol. And any number. So let's go with 2. And then I'm going to say hi. Alright, I don't know if you can see, but it's a yellow color. Click start. Not adding any codes, so I'll just click select finish. And it's yellow. Nothing there. That's it. But let's say I want to change its color. Let's say I want to add, let's do 9. I delete 2 with B. Save that. No code. And now it's a nice dark blue or purple. Kind of cool, huh? So that's how you add a really cool note with different colors. Alright, so with that out of the way, I will mention that certain games, foreign games, I might add, had different master codes. So let me go down here. Nope. I think I passed it. Oh, no, here it is. So I have a Pokemon Sapphire here with this 2-line of master code. That's Japanese Sapphire. And then there's this Sapphire, my US. It's got 3-line of code. Totally different. They're the same version, but totally different languages. because of that, the master codes are different. So you can use foreign games on this GameShark, but you need the correct master code in order to use it. So it doesn't matter if it's Spanish, English, French, German, Japanese. They all have their own specific master code, which it can be harder to find sometimes. But again, I have seen master codes to foreign games on the GameShark group, so I'd go ahead and check that out. This one I had to find. It was really long and hard process. So let's look at Walk the Walls cheat. So here's the master code for this. That way I can show you the difference. These two codes are different, as you can see. They're for the same game, but in order to use a Walk Through Walls cheat, I need this master code. In order to use a shiny cheat, I need this master code. So again, it just really depends on which code you're using for what game. So I have LeafGreen in. I'm going to show you some codes. Let me show you a shiny cheat. Alright, so it's recommended to not use more than one code at a time. Like if you're using Wild Pokemon modifier code and you want to run to a bunch of Bulbasaur, right? I wouldn't activate a Bulbasaur and a Golding code at the same time. You know, you're supposed to run into one Pokemon only. So you would only pick one in that instance. But in this case, I figured out my shiny code. I can add Pokemon under it and make them shiny. Which is really neat. I only have this one on here because I was too lazy to add others. So, yep. Do I have the right one? Yep. 1.0. Yep. Okay. So I'll go ahead and show this to you. It's on? Yep. Okay. I'll start. I know you can also use the max hearts and max stars code in Pokemon Ruby for contests. You can use that at the same time. But again, I'd recommend not. This is also some kind of extra LeafGreen game I had, so it's not even my file. Alright, here we are. Palatan, ready to run into grass with my code on. The shiny code depends. Every Pokemon will have a fixed gender and nature. If you want to change that, you'll have to actually delete your entire file. This has to do with your secret trainer ID. And the only way to change that is if you delete your game. So fixed Pokemon like Ditto, Chansey, or Nidoran, they'll always be shiny no matter what. So let's... I don't want to catch it right now. And then, you know, I could just turn it off. And I just ran into a normal Pidgey. I can always turn it back on, but I don't want to. So I'll go ahead and just shut my Game Boy off. Turn this back on. So yeah, there was that. That was a great example. I'll show you my one line of Deoxys code, because it's 1.0, so it can be hard. This is the one line I've had for the Deoxys. Just in case you go back later and want to figure out what Pokemon would fit here better. I will also note for foreign codes, an easier way to tell if you're using the right master code is if, let me scroll down here, just test out the master code. Don't even type in any of these codes, normal codes, just have the master code. If you just click the master code and start the game, If it loads, great, it works. If it doesn't load, or it says it's corrected, that means it doesn't work. I only found 3 online. This was the only one that worked. I'm so glad it worked though, because I didn't think it'd work. So that's an easier way to tell to see if the master code actually works with your game. If we're using a code, so let's say, I don't know, this code right here, right? I'm using this opponent level code. Sometimes if the GameShark says the code is corrupted, that means it's not going to work, it's not compatible. I tried using my US Sapphire Shiny code and my Japanese one. It didn't work. It gave me the corruption error. No panic, no problem, just delete it. You know, it's not going to cause any problems. Or if I'm using a teleport code and I walk through a door holding L and R and it doesn't do anything, then it doesn't work. Sometimes nothing happens if it doesn't work. And if it works, it'll work. Oh, another thing, if the game freezes, it obviously doesn't work. If you also run into a weird instance where you're trapped or some weird stuff starts happening during battle, it's hard to explain unless you experience it. Just literally turn the console off. Don't even turn the GameShark off, turn the console off. It's not going to hurt anything. You'll start where you last saved. I'll also note when it comes to saving, don't ever save with the GameShark on, like code-wise, the code switch here. Always shut it off and then save. Because if you're doing something like the mod shop, I was using a fake emerald and it completely broke my game. It's also fake, but still. I wouldn't recommend, don't ever save with a code on just to be safe, just to shut it off. It's always better be safe than sorry, honestly. I think that's really it, honestly. That's kind of the gist of it. So onward to Reddit. There's a GameShark group on Reddit. I post codes all the time on there. A lot of people post codes and share codes on there too. A lot of time and effort was spent on finding, what do you call those? Websites on the Wayback Machine. There we go. They're really old websites with GameShark codes on there. 12-digit GameShark codes, I might add. And some 8-digit ones too, so. You can find those on Reddit and even ask questions you may have on Reddit. I even spent time and posted a pinned post on all the shiny codes for all the Game Boy Advance Pokemon games. Like every single one of them. Even version 1.0 and 1.1 for 5 Red Leaf Green. We got all of them on there, which is really awesome. It's the only place you can actually find them. Which is why I wanted to mention it. I will provide a link in the description below about it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask below in the comments and I'll answer them to the best of my abilities. Or you can ask on Reddit and I'll also answer there. I think that's really it though. So I hope y'all enjoy your day and your new GameShark. Have a nice day.